What is good, guys? Right now I'm actually in Haneda International Airport, which is a first for me. I'm currently in a massage chair and it feels amazing. It costs only like hakuyen, which is like $1 US, but my gate and terminal is like right there. Oh yeah, okay, this thing was so worth it. Anyways, what's happened today? I didn't film a vlog, and that's because I needed to focus on packing. Man, the stabilization of this thing's amazing while this is working on my glutes. Anyways, this is probably the weirdest intro to a video ever. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't film a vlog today, but in Australia the work's already started on the 34. That was awkward, kid walking into the frame. Yeah, so the work's already started on the 34. Ben actually will get the vlog picked up from there. He picked up the 34 and took it to go get some knuckles and angle mods done. So we'll throw in his footage here, which I'm sure was taken on his Potato Vision Android. And then we'll pick up the vlog from once I land in Australia. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Alright, morning guys. It's crazy o'clock in the morning and I am grabbing my trailer from our shed. So I can pick up SAMMIT 34 and then I'm taking it to Chop Shop so that we can get a lock kit put in before Adam LZ Day on Sunday. We just picked Sam's car up. She's on the trailer. Here with his awesome old man. We're going to strap it down and we're going to head off to get some knuckles put on it.
And just like that, we are back in Australia, sweating my balls off at Aoba-Ku garage. Oh, look, new staff member. This is Kyle, everyone. Everyone say hi to Kyle. He's also part of Grip Runner, if you watch that YouTube channel. I think they got like 4 subs, I don't know. This is Semi, you all know Semi. But this is the #1 thing that I'm really excited about. Do you guys remember what the Zephyr used to look like? I'll throw up a quick picture of what the engine bay used to look like. But it's got an RB30 in there, and we've been working on this for the customer, and just look how schmick that looks. And it's all because of this guy. And I think our old staff member Ben, who actually just left, and he's gone to start his own workshop. So hope he does well and succeeds. It's always a little bit sad when you lose a good staff member, but Kira's here as well. Say hi, Kira, to the vlogs, to the YouTube. And the 34 is already here. Ben delivered it for me this morning. Here it is, next to my other car that doesn't run currently, that doesn't have an engine, long story. But we will get that fixed this year. That is 100% on my goal list. Here's the 34. We got a lot of work to do. Enough chit chat, let's get started. I know I said enough talking, but I stopped for a quick curry pie, and I'm so glad I did. Oh my God, I miss these. All right, so I've got the 34 now in the workshop, and I'm gonna start pulling everything off because we have a lot to do. We have to take off the whole front bar, fab up all the intercooler piping. We've got to cut a hole here and everything so we can get the piping to come up across here and into the throttle body there. The old turbo's completely coming off. We've got a new Johnny for that. We're pretty much smashing this out in 2 days, which might seem a little bit unrealistic, but I keep telling you guys over and over that RBs are super easy to modify and get up to that 400 horsepower level safely. As long as you've got a good aftermarket ECU, you got the turbo that can do it, and the turbo that we're actually working with, let me show you. So I have to start off by saying a massive thank you to Mamba, my turbo sponsor for the channel. They've been a huge supporter of my channel, and they sent this to me like super fast. I literally called them Monday morning, and they just finished like the Taiwan like New Year's holidays, and I literally called them first thing Monday morning, spoke to the sales rep, and they were like, yep, no problem, we'll get the turbo sent out in the next like hour. And literally it just arrived as I arrived at Aoba-Ku garage. So getting a turbo shipped, like put together in the factory, shipped, sent to me here in literally 3 days while I flew over here, it's unheard of. And I'm super excited to be working with Mamba, especially with this particular turbo. Enough chit chat, let me show you what it actually is. Trying to open this one-handed again. I know it's painful to watch, but I don't have another hand. Okay, cool. Ooh, yeah. This is my favorite thing I love about Mamba as well. They always include like brand new oil and water lines and stuff like that, and all the bobs and bits and things that you need to get everything on. This is literally a bolt-on kit. Everything about this particular turbo is bolt-on. Here it is in all its glory. Now this one is a much smaller turbo than what I've got on my 33.4 in Japan. I nearly said Australia, my bad. And this is actually, as you can see there, it has the Nissan logo. So what they do is they have all the Nissan casting and the rear housing and everything. Let's get this Johnny out of here. And this is essentially a Skyline Turbo, but it's pretty much known like a high flow turbo here in Australia. You know, like the turbos that Hyperflow and GCG Garrett and stuff do, how they bore everything out and make it suit like a bigger internal. This is pretty much that. And they're good for 450 horsepower. So super easy to accomplish that on a Neo motor with all the add-ons that we're doing. Okay, let's pull this thing out and get a good look at it. Look at those fins. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get this like side by side with the old one and just show you guys. But look at those billet juicy compressor blades. I don't know if the camera's gonna focus on it or not, but you can see the billet like kind of ribbing in there. That's what turns me on. All right, cool. And they've obviously got their upgraded internal wastegate that's built onto this as well. Overall, it's pretty much a Skyline Turbo. The core looks a little bit different, a little bit more upgraded, but everything on here, oh man, way bigger exhaust turbine there. See on the factory one, see how the blades are like right on the edge of this flange? The factory one is like still got a whole bunch of casting around it. It's way smaller. So this thing's good for up to 450, even 500 horsepower. We're aiming to just get 400 out of the 34. We've also got a bunch of injectors here. Let's pull these injectors out. There we go. We're going with Raceworks 725 injectors. We're doing a Walbro 450, 420 litre per hour pump. This thing is gonna be a monster. All right, so we've got a total of just 2 days to transform all of this and get it to the dyno on Friday, make our 400 horsepower goal, and then start shredding on Sunday. So without further ado, let's throw on the time lapse and get stuck into it. Okay, so a quick progress update. I got the whole front bar taken off the car, take out the pod filter and the old airflow meter. Even though I'm not using that, it was just in there of a means of having a filter because I got the Link ECU. I'm not using a MAF, obviously. So now I'm gonna start pulling down the whole hot side, but I just wanna check first that there's no leak from the factory exhaust manifold connecting to the head. Like I wanna make sure that gasket's all fine. So we're gonna try and do a smoke test on it. We've ordered some pizza as well. I put on some 25mm spacers on the front here, and this is for my new angle kit. Hopefully we can see in here, but the knuckles have been cut and dropped. It looks super good, and the angle we're getting it's pretty baller. Like, look at this. Hey-yo! It's way more than factory, so I'm pretty keen to try that out. Big thank you to Benkei for that as well, for picking up my car and carting it around and doing all of that. It's been a huge help. So yeah, we got to kind of relocate the oil cooler from last time we were here. We're putting a front mount in there, which means we're probably going to get rid of this fully JDM horn setup, or we'll move that somewhere else inside the car. But yeah, overall, getting a good start on everything. And I had to send my battery away under warranty. The shop down the road is going to get me a new one for it. I don't know, man, I just can't win with batteries because the car sits sometimes for 3 to 6 months. And it just sits there. It's got a trickle charger and everything, but every time I come back, it's dead and stuffed. So I don't know if I got the wrong charger or what, but I just don't want to spend like another $200 on a charger that's not going to do its job. So yeah, back into it. Hopefully we'll have all of this done by the end of the next time lapse, and we'll smoke test that manifold and make sure it's not leaking. All right, so check this out. I've hooked up the smoke tester, and look at all the smoke pouring out of the turbo gasket. So we can see that it's not coming from the actual manifold and the head flange whatsoever. It's just the gasket for the turbo. So that's why you always invest in a really good smoke tester, because you can easily find things like this. And let me show you how it works. So I pulled off the exhaust, and this is all it is. It's this big piece like that. and just pumps a whole bunch of smoke out of it. You can't really see it too well right now. Kind of can there now. There you go, you can kind of see it just coming out. It's just like a little fog machine. It's cool, there you go, you can kind of see it there. And you just plug it in the hole and it'll test for any leaks whatsoever. So, pretty awesome little tool. All right, quick update. We got the turbo off. It felt like I was giving birth and retrieving a child from the engine bay. We got it off, and we'll do a full comparison video on this probably tomorrow with the new one, but you can already tell like everything's so tiny on this. We'll get that back off tomorrow as well and show you the compressor housing, but it's just a way smaller profile turbo, and we're going to something that's just gonna flow a lot more air. Really excited. I got Kyle getting that really annoying 10mm bolt on the top of the head in the block that holds that water line on. And then I don't know how mean I'm feeling, but I might try and make Kyle as well connect the water line that's in behind the block right there in between the firewall and the engine, which involves like lying on top of everything and impaling yourself on the accelerator bracket. It's all good, I've done it before, so I think it's gonna be faster if I do it. Sam's just being Sam. He never does any friggin' work, I don't know, man. Just always on his phone. All right, so it's time for another update. We've got the front mount mounted, although we do need to move it further in so it clears the genuine Nismo Aero. We don't want to cut that bar up, but we've worked out if we just move it back a little bit more, it'll clear. Where I'm at with installing the new Mamba Turbo, we actually, I got all the oil and water lines run. These are really simple. You just kind of bolt them on with the banjo bolts straight onto the block down here. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can. This one is the most difficult one to do on the RB. And the reason for that is just because the water is fed from underneath the intake manifold here under the IACV valve. So if you are having trouble getting to it, if you don't have things like these kind of pliers to get there, you're gonna really struggle. I was able to get to it, get to the factory hose clamp, pull it off, and then pull the old hard line out through here. And then I slid the new one in, got a stainless steel nice hose clamp over there, and it's all in there nice and good. So these lines are now ready for me to put the banjo bolts on for the turbo. And the best thing is Mamba includes all of the bibs and the bobs and everything you need to pretty much bolt onto the turbo. All the lines, the braided lines are nice as well. Obviously you got your wastegate springs there as well if you want to run a higher, stronger spring for more boost. You're going to need this buddy as well. This provides your restricted oil flow to the turbo, so don't forget to put that on as well. We've also got the gasket kit in the box as well. Anyways, I want to show you guys the difference between the two turbos, so let's do that. Okay, so it's comparison time. I want to show you guys the difference. Both of these are in the same housing, the same Nissan OEM housing, but you can already tell that there's something going on with the intake sizing here. This is a lot thicker here and smaller, but over here this is thinner and more machined out and wider. So I got myself a pair of verniers, and I just want to show you guys the difference here. So we're going to go, I'm going to measure the inside of this. Looking at 49.27. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. 24. 49.24. Probably moved a bit. And then we go over to here, Let's get it in the hole. Try and hold it level. There we go. Looking at 56.58. So there's a big difference there. And then if you just go and start looking at like the compressor wheel. So we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blades, right? And it's an acrylic plastic, like a hardened acrylic plastic. We look at this one, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blades, but you can see that there's then other blades underneath them. See? So it's like doubled up, and then it's a billet wheel. It's balanced perfectly, dual ball bearing, and yeah, I mean, you can obviously tell that there's a huge difference. This is essentially just like a normal kind of like high flow kit for your RB25, and it's a direct bolt on, and these things are good up until like, I mean, you're never gonna run these at 32, like 60 PSI, but they get tested up until that, like they will do that. Of course, it's gonna be out of its efficiency rating, but it's still like a really high quality turbo. So this is essentially kind of like those high flow deals that you see where workshops like GCG will take this, they'll bore it all out and machine it all out, put a different core in it, and it comes out looking like this. So let's flip them over, take a quick look at the rear side, and look at the difference there as well, because that's kind of where the magic happens. That's the turbine, that's what spins the compressor. So this is the backside, and unless you're blind, there is a massive difference here. Obviously, the first thing that we want to talk about is the fact that the factory Nissan ones, this is an acrylic turbine wheel, and these are only good for up until 12 PSI. Really, 11.5 is super safe. Once you start going over 12 PSI, this thing normally falls completely off the shaft and ends up in your catalytic converter, which then you have to replace your catalytic converter, your turbo. It's never a good time. Obviously, the Mamba one, way bigger machined out, much more efficient turbine wheel, ready for making more responsive and bigger boost, really. One thing to note as well is that the exhaust housing on these are identical as well. So you're not gonna see a drop in lag or anything, like a lag performance or anything like that. Although I will probably notice a bit of lag now that I'm going to a front mount intercooler setup compared to my side mount, but it's just gonna end up making things better because, you know, cooler IATs. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. I want to try and get in there and measure the diameter of these things, but I don't know if my verniers are going to be able to reach in here. They are not. They are definitely not going to be able to reach in there. But I think it goes without saying there's a massive difference. What we can do is obviously use the verniers over here and just go from pretty much wall to wall on the flange. This is so difficult one-handed. Why am I doing this? The things I do for you guys. All right, looking at 54.67 there. And if we even try to let's just try matching it up on the stock one and just see, maybe I can get the verniers in if I go this way. Yep, I can. Barely. No, it still hits the wall there, so I can't get it 100%, but if we just kind of eyeball it to get an idea, that's about it there. We're looking at like 41, but that's a rough guesstimate. But anyways, so yeah, pretty cool overall, massive difference, and this thing's gonna flow a bunch more. And just the build quality as well, like if you're looking here at the internal wastegate and how that's nicely machined down in there, if the camera and the lighting will show us, it's got a really nice flat machined edge in there, which means it's going to get a nice seal when that clamps down, so you're not going to have internal gate issues. Overall, great product. Can't wait to try it out. Just throwing on the Mamba sticker now. Look at that beautiful, fresh Mamba logo on there. All right, so time for a quick update. We've got the turbo mounted in here, and we've been mocking up intercooler piping. I did have to clock the core a tiny bit just to compensate to get things in the right angle for how we were doing the piping and whatnot. So the piping's going to kind of come off the factory elbow here. Hang on, we've got that over here. We're going to do 3-inch all the way through because the intercooler is 3-inch. So this goes here just to one silicon coupler, and then everything's going to go straight down through the chassis, come out to the Mishimoto intercooler there, and come up from this side all the way through. We're going to cut a hole in there tomorrow. It's going to come up, come across, and connect in back into the factory J-pipe. And then that'll be it. All good to go. So pretty pumped and excited. We're going to pack up the whole workshop for now. Going to throw everything in the bin that we don't need, like this side mount. But if anyone does need an OP6 really good condition turbo, I have one for sale. So DM me on Instagram. I think these are worth like $400 Australian at the moment. So yeah, if you want that, it's yours for 400 bucks or best offer. But we're gonna pack up everything and then we're gonna head home. Okay, so I'm back home in my old bedroom at my parents' house. We got a lot of work done today. Hopefully the footage and everything turned out great with all the time lapses. I have like grease and black stuff all over me. I'm way too excited to jump back into it tomorrow morning. Me and Sam are actually getting up at 5:30. I'm picking him up from his house at 6 because he currently lost his license. Something else in common with both me and Sam is we have a habit of getting fined around the same time, it seems, and losing our license. But obviously in Australia I have my full license, but in Japan I'm still waiting for that letter from the prosecution office to tell me when my suspension starts and finishes. So at least I can still drive there, but maybe by the time I get back I might have that letter and it's too late. Anyways, enough rambling on. Tomorrow's going to be awesome. We're going to tidy up and finish everything. We're going to do the exhaust, the rest of the intercooler piping, injectors and all that jazz tomorrow, fuel pressure regulator and fuel pump, and then off to the dyno Friday. So fun, and it's so easy, man, guys. I said this already in the video, but it is so easy to make good horsepower out of an RB25 with just modest mods, and it doesn't break the bank. We'll go through, and I'll actually probably at the end of these like 3 videos when we finally get our power figure, is I'll go through maybe next week actually after like the first drift event. I'll go through and I'll tell you guys the price of everything that I've purchased, and if you were to do the work yourself plus like a good dyno tune, what it would cost you to get 400 horsepower out of your RB25 powered Skyline or whatever you've got in a 25 in. Anyways, I'm rambling again. What is wrong with me? I need to have a shower and get to bed ASAP because I'm getting up at the break of dawn. So thanks heaps for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. If you want to support the channel and what I do, it's a Patreon link down in the description. Join the Discord, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Ja mata ne.
Good? Okay. どうだ